Today, family, we are going to study the specific effects of timeouts and how those effects can actually help you remove the appearance of rubber banding. Alright, so this is one of the biggest and most important tutorials I've ever done. So we are going to look at timeouts and rotation management to ensure that you play your game to the best possible so you won't get rubber banding at the end of the game. Now, to demonstrate for us is going to be actually my GM team I have with my league team with the Dallas Mavericks. It's going to be Drew Holiday, Sean Livingston, Chris Middleton, Dirk Nowitzki, and Festus Ezeli. Now, this is actually important because when I play with this team, my goal is to have Middleton and Dirk play 80% of the game, while Drew, Livingston, and Festus Ezeli just rotates through with the bench guys. So in this tutorial, you're going to see how I use timeouts to manage both the minutes of Middleton and Dirk, my superstars in a way, and especially Dirk Nowitzki, who is an old superstar. Alright? So the gameplay is not going to be much here, but I'm just showing you guys. So right now, I've pretty much played 4 minutes. So Duncan is going to get fouled here, and if I go to the substitution screen, you can see the stamina is as such: 88 for Holiday, 88 for Livingston, 93 for Middleton, Dirk 89, Ezeli 91. Players tire differently depending how you use them and depending on their stamina levels, but the most important thing you need to understand is that once their stamina goes lower than 80, their overall goes down. So you want to avoid any player going under 80 in stamina under any circumstances, okay? So another minute has gone by, and you can see at this time, Drew Holiday, Livingston is the most tired because my sister is using him. She locks on as the shooting guard, and she runs around a lot, so he's extra tired. Dirk Nowitzki is at 83. So at this point, we're hovering around. Players are going to get close to 79, right? Under 80 where the rating goes down. So you need to have it in the back of your mind, like at this point, another 2 minutes later, you can see Dirk is already at 80. Livingston has been subbed out because he went under 80, so I put on a follow, who's the backup 2 guard. My sister is still using him. But at this point, because Dirk Nowitzki is my superstar, and I like to keep him on, but I don't want him to get under 80, because his overall will go down, right? So I'm looking to call a timeout or make the other team call a timeout, because at this point, no one has called a timeout yet. And how do I know that? Because if you look at the box score here, or the ticker, I guess, whatever this is, you see the bottom where all the yellow dots, you see how there are 7 yellow dots for Dallas and 7 yellow dots for San Antonio? Well, those are actually the timeouts. So right now, no one has called a timeout, so no yellow dots are missing, right? So I want to call one because Dirk is getting close to under 80, and I still want to play him. So I'm playing through this possession. I'm trying to run my swing motion with my sister. You can see there she is as a follow. I'm gonna hit up a pick and fade. She gets me the ball, wide open free ball, beautiful shot, and that is a huge shot. Not because it's a free and that it went in, it's because it led San Antonio to call a timeout. So that is a big, big shot. Because San Antonio has called a timeout here, Dirk Nowitzki, who was at about 80, 79ish, you can see after the timeout, he has gone to 85. Alright, and San Antonio actually called a full timeout there. So by the metrics, now that I did the study, full timeouts would give any player you have a stamina recovery of 5. Doesn't matter if they're old, doesn't matter if they're young, alright, or how tired they are. A full timeout gets everybody plus 5. So at this point, we're about the 4-minute marks. I have decided to call a 20-second timeout. This is because I still want to keep Dirk in the game, and I want to keep him above 80. So you can see their stamina. This is before I have called the 20-second timeout. Dirk is at 83, Middleton is at 89. Once again, these are the players we care about because they are my superstars and I want them to play as much as possible. And you can see after the 20-second timeout, Dirk has been bumped to 88 and Middleton has been bumped to 93. So the interesting thing here is that although it's a 20-second timeout, right? Dirk actually still got bumped back up by 5, and Middleton I think 4.5-ish. I think he was at 88 after. Anyways, Dirk has been bumped back up by 5, so this means a 20-second timeout and a full timeout actually gives you the same amount of stamina recovery, plus 5. So there is no difference between a 20 and a full, really. Except, for those of you who didn't know, you actually get a new 20-second timeout in the second half if you use your first one, alright? So you want to use that first 20-second timeout no matter what, because if you don't use it, you won't get a new one in the second half. So if you use it in the first half, first quarter, second quarter, doesn't matter, you'll get a new 20. So remember that. Use your 20-second timeout before every half. Now we're at about the 2-minute mark, and you can see Dirk Nowitzki is still above 80 because of our careful timeout management. And Middleton, because he's a young guy, he's at 88. So my superstars are still fresh. No one is under 80, so there's no rating damage. And the other 3 players, I just rotate through no matter what, so it doesn't really matter with them because they don't play extended minutes, right? Dirk and Middleton, however, does. And once again, that was a huge layup by a follow because it led to another timeout by the Spurs. So this is pretty much the 3rd timeout of the quarter, which means by timeouts alone, I have given my players stamina of plus 15. So that is a huge shot by a follow. Awesome stuff. And as you can see at this point, even though Dirk and Middleton are pretty fresh, I've decided to take them out and put in base mode and David West, who are completely fresh. And after that timeout by the Spurs again, you can see Dirk is at 87, Middleton 92, so that's once again plus 5. And because of my careful management, I was able to play Middleton and Dirk 11 minutes, so most of the quarter, like close to 90%, more than 90%, and they were fresh the entire way. I did not tire them out. And this actually adds to your rubber banding thing later in the game, because if you play them, right, for the entire first quarter and you don't manage the timeouts like I do and their stamina, they're going to be tired. They're going to be under 80, and then the overall is going to go down and you're not even going to know it. Alright, so make sure you call your timeouts and manage it like I have here. And you can see as the game goes on, this is just the end of the first quarter. So the break is coming, right? The break between second quarter and first quarter coming. And I did another study there. And between that break, you also get a stamina boost. Alright, so once this David West hits this J, we're going to end the quarter. And after the quarter is over, between quarter, the stamina boost is also plus 5. So you can see at this point, Middleton is at 98, Dirk Nowitzki at 93. So because of my careful management, even though Middleton and Dirk had both played 11 minutes out of the possible 12, so 90% of the quarter, they are still very, very fresh. And Dirk is an old guy. So if you're doing my team or anything, anyone with 99 stamina like KD, you're going to be able to play them for the entire quarter and they still stay fresh. You got to keep them fresh so there's no rubber banding later in the game, family. Alright, so 3 minutes have gone by in the second quarter. So once again, about, I think, 25%. And you see at this point, I'm about to bring back in my starters, or the entire starting unit. And you can see Middleton and Dirk, because of the extra, another 3 minutes of rest, while the bench players are playing, they're both now at 94 and 95. So I'm bringing them back in almost completely fresh. And I've been playing great because I've been managing the timeouts, as you can see by the score. So the Spurs here call another timeout. So at this point, when I bring them back, my starters, they're completely fresh. Dirk's at 99, Middleton is at 98, plus 5 once again for everyone. So that is awesome. So pretty much I've played them tons and nothing happened because of my timeout management skills. And like I say, if they don't go under 80, their ratings stay high. If their ratings stay high, you won't get the feeling of rubber banding. I'm starting to think some of the players out there, they don't even know if stamina goes below 80, the rating starts to drop significantly more and more so, right? That's whatever you think is rubber banding. It says your guys are tired, so they can't play up to their standard. And you can see here, the staminas are fine, but Kawhi hit that crazy shot just before this. So I just decided to call a timeout to also manage momentum. Momentum management is one thing, but if you want to stop rubber banding, manage your freaking stamina with timeouts. So after that timeout, you can see my guys are fresh as heck. They've been playing tons. My stars, like I said, focus on Middleton and Dirk because they are the ones I'm trying to play a lot. And you see, fresh as heck. So at this point, the second quarter is almost over. There's 3 minutes left. So I played another 5 minutes-ish about. So quite a bit. There's only 25% of the quarter left. If you look at the stamina of my guys, Dirk Nowitzki is still at 83 while Middleton is at 84. So my stars are not under 80. Ratings are still high. They've been playing tons. That's the goal here, family. And at this point, you can see, you can watch my sister kick some butt. So she's Sean Livingston here. She shuts down the J. Great defense. It leads to pretty good transition offense. That's why all the stamina management adds up. If your stamina management and rotation subbing skills are superior, like what I've shown you today, you will play a lot better than the other guy just by this alone. I still haven't lost a game on PlayLoud online yet, and I attribute it to this. I never see rubber banding. I don't. Because my stamina and overall rating are always managed to the T. Great Great D by Drew Holiday here. You can see my team just looks fresher than the Spurs, you know what I mean? And the Spurs got their bench guys on. I got my starters. But I have my starters, but they are still fresh. And my sister is whooping butt, swing motion, pick and fade. Great passes. Bangity, bang, bang, bang. Alright, so 1 minute left. And at this point, although it won't show at the overall here, the overall might still be the same. Their ratings have gone down. A few things here and there, maybe awareness, ball handling skills, maybe a little bit the mid-range. As long as it's below 80, ratings goes down. So be aware of that. And at this point, I will be calling my final full timeout of the first half. And you can see, there it is. So my goal is to always call 120 and 2 full timeouts at the first half. I don't care what the other guy does. I want to make him call timeouts, obviously, but if he doesn't ever call ones, I'm still going to call 2 full and 120. So that will give me a stamina recovery of plus 15. I played really well in this half, so the Hall of Fame Sim Spurs had to use their timeouts too, so they also called free. So pretty much by the timeouts alone, it was plus 30. That's how I was able to keep my guys so fresh. But either way, like I said, call 2 full timeouts and 120 every first half you play, and then the second half you have more timeouts to use. You have about 2 full and 220, so an extra one. So in the second half you can probably have a stamina recovery rating of plus 20 if you choose. And you see after that timeout, before the end of the second half, those are the stamina of my starters. And the good news is because the second half break is coming, which is longer than the first quarter break, at the halftime break you actually get a stamina recovery of plus 10. And as you can see here, this is at the beginning of the third quarter, and they are going pretty well. And you're like, oh Sam, but your guys aren't starting at 100. I don't really care. Remember, in the second half, I get an extra timeout, which is plus 5 more stamina recovery than I can get in the first half. So that this adds up to be the same. Dirk will be 100, Middleton will be 100 also. Yes, that is very scary management, but I do it, and this is why I play well, and this is why I don't experience rubber banding. Alright, so you can see there, you see I have the extra timeout. I got 5 of them, which is 2 full, 4 full timeouts and 120. But I say 4 timeouts because you want to save that final timeout in case it's a close game, right? So you're really going to get the benefit from that. But at least you're still going to get the full timeouts. And yes, there has been a recovery because at the end of the first half, you saw I only have 4 yellow bars left. But now I got the extra bar back because I get the 20, right? Like I said, the second half, you get an extra 20 timeout back. Alright, family, and you can see Dirk played 18 minutes in the first half. I got him to go 22, so that's what I've wanted. Dirk Nowitzki is an old guy. I kept him fresh. Remember, at the beginning of the third quarter, he had 95 stamina. Alright? I played him 18 minutes, and see, he still had 95 stamina. That's great management. So for those of you experiencing rubber banding, remember, if your guys are tired, their ratings go down. Even if it's not obvious, other parts of the rating like defensive awareness, ball handling goes down by a little, and the whole team goes down by a little. So if you don't manage this, you end up having a way worse team at the end of the game. Like I saw another YouTuber using my system the other day, UC704. He was getting all these open shots with Paul George at the end of the game, but he was clanking all of them. And people like, oh, rubber banding. No, because when he checked the stamina, Paul George was at 69. A Paul George with 69 stamina is not the same as a Paul George with 82 stamina, right? So he's gonna miss the open shots. So a lot of you thinking rubber banding is actually just bad timeout calling and bad stamina management, alright? So what you've learned here today is very important. If you got any questions, leave it in the comment section. I will see all of you next time.